Welcome. If you are just joining our transfer information session today, if you can hear me, if you could just go ahead and use the raise hand feature. For those of you that are just joining us, I'm hoping that you can hear me. So if you're able to go ahead and raise your hand or type in if you could type in the chat, just want to make sure you can all hear me today. Oh, perfect. All right. Thank you for raising your hand. So welcome. This will be the UCCS transfer information session. I'm going to give people another minute or so to get onto this, and then I will be going through some information with you. You do have the Q&A feature available to you today. And so I would ask that you use the Q&A feature to put any questions you have throughout the presentation in there. So, all right. And you're welcome to put your questions into the session as I am going through the presentation. This is our general information session for prospective transfer students. So we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm Jacqueline. I'm the Associate Director for the Office of Admissions, and I've been with the university since 2011 in our admissions office. So I'm excited to share with you just important information for transferring and things to know about our university if you are exploring what college or university might be the best place for you to finish your degree. So we are part of the University of Colorado system. So there are 4 campuses. There's the campus in Boulder, campus in Denver, the Anschutz Medical Campus, and us in Colorado Springs. No matter which campus you go to, you do graduate with a University of Colorado degree, and that's really helpful when you're out searching for jobs. One of the big differences between our campuses is the size of our schools. So we are about 12,000 students. That includes our undergraduate and graduate student populations. Boulder, by way of comparison, is about 30,000 students. If you're not familiar with Colorado, we are about an hour south of Denver, the state capital. So very easy and accessible to get up to the Denver area. The CU Denver campus has about 15,000 students and is has more of that urban feel to it, while Boulder has kind of the college town feel to it. And us, we just really like to enjoy our wonderful views of Pikes Peak. And I do hope that you'll consider coming on a tour of campus if you haven't already, just so that you can see all of that. So starting off with, I'll just go through some important academic information. This is a picture of our largest lecture hall on campus. It holds 298 students. And so most of the time you'll be in much smaller classes. Our average class size is 25 with a student to faculty ratio of 17:1. So you really have the opportunity to get to know faculty on our campus. And I think that's really helpful as you're, as a transfer student coming in with credits. We really want you to expedite your process in getting to know the campus and connecting with faculty, because they're going to be key when you go to apply for jobs or graduate school or next steps. They can help you brainstorm how you can use a degree, or they might even have internship suggestions, or maybe getting to know your faculty member, you decide that you want to pursue research opportunities. We have 53 degrees at UCCS, so there's a lot of different programs that might be a fit. Everything ranging from our College of Engineering to our College of Business, our College of Education if you want to be a teacher, or we have our Human Services degree. Our School of Public Affairs has Criminal Justice and Social Work. Our College of Letters, Arts, and Sciences holds the majority of majors, and that's going to be your humanities and social sciences. So everything from history to philosophy, psychology, sociology, those types of degrees. We also have our nursing and health science college that houses nursing degrees, things like exercise science, our health and wellness promotion, our human physiology and nutrition degrees. So as you can see, there's just a broad range of degree programs. So I talked a little bit about being on a kind of small to medium-sized campus, connecting with faculty, and I mentioned internships in that. So some of our degree programs require internships. For example, our criminal justice degree requires internships, and degrees like sport management also require it. Other degrees, such as communication, don't require an internship, but the communication program does have an internship coordinator who brings in a variety of opportunities for our students. So they will host different events for you to go and meet possible employers and do internships or interview for jobs. College of Business has their own internship coordinator to help students, and we also have a career center that serves the entire student body with internships and career exploration as well. So that's something that we really want our students to take advantage of, is building on those skill sets. And for transfer students, again, we really want you to get started early on and have a great experience. Research is another way that you can add on to your skill set and your resume before you complete your degree. So the best way to get research opportunities is to work directly with faculty members, get to know them, learn about what types of research they're doing, and identify whether or not that's a fit for you. So we have some great opportunities for our health science, exercise science majors. We have our brand new Hibble Science Center, and in there's labs where they're able to change the altitude, and they can study how people eat, nutrition, and different things to increase an athlete's ability at high altitude. So that's one really unique opportunity. Our College of Engineering also has a variety of different labs where you can get involved with research. So being at an institution our size, we're able to provide some really exceptional research opportunities, and we're a small enough campus that you can access those opportunities, and you can do research with the PhD faculty members. You can get published with them. I've had students in my office go and present at conferences with their faculty members. So those are the types of opportunities we want students to take advantage of based on our campus size. So a little bit about life on campus. If you are a transfer student, you're not required to live on campus if you're transferring with more than 30 credit hours. If you live in El Paso County already, you're not required to live on campus, but there is the option to live on campus. We do have upperclassmen apartments that you can live in, but you'll also see that website, www.offcampushousing.uccs.edu. So if you are moving to the area and you're looking for places to live off campus, that's a great resource that you can start off with. And there's lots of places near campus. That option does exist to live on campus or not. If you are considering living on campus, this is a picture of our Roaring Fork Dining Hall on campus, and really just exceptional facilities. We have 2 different dining halls that students can eat at. You don't have to have a meal plan as an upperclassman. You can, it's an option, but all of our housing on campus is suite style. So what that means is you'll never be walking down the hall to get to the bathroom. It'll be a situation where within your suite, there's a bathroom. You can have the option to have a shared room within a suite and have another roommate, or you can have the option to have your own bedroom within a suite. So you can view all our floor plans on our housing website. I typically don't spend a lot of time on housing, but if you do have questions, you can put those in the chat, or we can explore that further in more detail. We are Division II for athletics. So there's a lot of opportunities to go and watch sporting events. And if you're not ready to play at the Division II level, we do have club and intramural sports. Club teams, depending on the team, they will handle that in different ways. So for some club teams, they'll have tryouts, and for other club teams, they might hire coaches and have fees and travel and play other schools in the state of Colorado. And then intramurals is just playing for fun. You don't need to have played the sport before. You could be trying it for the first time. So those are a few ways that you can be active and get involved in the campus community through athletics. Our Recreation and Wellness Center is a really robust center. We take wellness and promote, we work with that through a holistic view. So you can go and you can work out in the rec center. That is a part of your student fees to attending UCCS, so you automatically have access to that. But we also have counseling services. You can see registered dietitians. You can see a chiropractor. You can get a massage. Our student health center is part of our rec center. So if you need to get a flu shot, or if you have a sinus infection and you need to get a prescription for that. Those are all services that you can access through the recreation and wellness centers. Another way to get involved on campus is by joining a campus club. So this is a picture of a previous year of one of our campus club fairs, where you can learn about all the different clubs we have on campus. We have over 200 clubs on campus. That includes everything from academic themed clubs, like our Honor Society for the College of Business, to some of our faith-based clubs. So we have Catholic-based groups, and we have Crew, which is open to many different groups. We have our picnic club, and that's just a fun club here on campus. So that's a great way. Again, you can be the president of a club, or you can have an officer role. By having a club, you can request student government funding. So if you wanted to go to some sort of conference or something like that through your club, that would be an opportunity you can pursue. If we don't have a club that you want, it only takes you and 3 other friends to start a club on campus. Another way that you can get connected to the community is by working on campus. Regardless of whether you qualify for work study, you can apply for a job on campus. We emphasize that you're a student employee, so making sure you're a student first, so you can never be scheduled to work when you have class. We're flexible with our students. So for example, the students that I manage that work in our Office of Admissions, if they come to me and they need some time off to go to a professor's office hours or something like that, I'm going to work with them to make sure that they can accommodate that and be successful. So the most you can work as a student employee is 25 hours per week. On the FAFSA, I always recommend selecting that you want to be considered for work study. Regardless of whether or not you qualify for work study, you would go to our student employment website to look for a job on campus, and then jobs will list whether or not you need to have student employment to pursue that option. So you can work in, that's a picture of Clyde, our mountain lion, and our mascot in the corner there, and that's Clyde in our coffee shop on campus, so you can do that. You can work in catering, you can work in the library, the scholarship office. Departments often have positions as well. So there's a lot of different opportunities, and each job will pay different amounts. So when you go and look for jobs on the student employment website, it'll list what the pay is for each position. So some different resources that we want you to be aware of. We have 5 different Excel centers where you can get free tutoring. So that includes the math, science, writing, oral communication, and the languages center. If you're really good at any of those subject areas or they align with your major, you can be paid to be a tutor there. That's another job opportunity. So we really recommend, you can do your homework in the Excel centers. They have, sometimes they'll have coffee and just snacks and different things. But the great thing is, by doing your homework in there, if you raise your hand, someone will come around and they can help you out as you have questions. So those are great resources. This is a picture of our academic advising team. So our academic advisors are assigned based on your intended major. And so they'll help you out with selecting classes. If you want to complete your degree in a certain amount of time, they can help you make that plan based on your transfer credits that you're bringing in. So really recommend connecting with them, sharing your goals and interests. They are aware of all the different types of classes offered for their majors. So if you have a specific interest, they can recommend a class to you that you might not even know we offered. So that's going to be something you'll want to work closely with them. I know some of you might be military or veteran affiliated. So we do have our Military and Veteran Affairs office. They can help you out with setting up your benefits, transferring your benefits. If you have just any questions as a service member, they're a great opportunity, or as the dependent of a service member, they're a great office to get to know. With our JST, the Joint Services transcripts, we do not automatically evaluate those transcripts, and we also don't use those for admission at UCCS. So in order to have the 24 credit hours to be considered a transfer student, you'll need to have credits outside of that JST. And then if you do want to have your JST transfer credit evaluated, once you're admitted to UCCS, you do have to put in a specific request to get that transcript evaluated. So a little bit about the tuition and fees to attend UCCS. So you can see for a Colorado resident, it's about $10,492. That's for 30 credit hours or a year of tuition typically. So to complete your degree in 4 years, you typically need to average 15 credit hours per semester. And then you can see for the Western Undergraduate Exchange Program, the WUI tuition rate, it's just a little bit more. It's about 150% of the in-state tuition rate. And then our non-resident. The WUI tuition rate would be states west of Colorado that goes up to Washington and over to California. If you're not sure if you're coming from a state that's WUI eligible, on the UCCS homepage, you can type in WUI and you will get more information about that special tuition rate and which states qualify. If you are moving here because of the military and you're stationed at a base here, then you will qualify for the in-state tuition rate. Our residents' life to live on campus, you can see there's a pretty big range in cost. So it ranges anywhere from $10,000 up to $14,000 for a year of living on campus. That is going to be based on the type of housing you select. If you go to our housing website and you're looking at the floor plans, you'll be able to see the full cost breakdown based on the room type that you're interested in. Some scholarships that I want to point out to you. So if anyone is transferring from Lamar, Otero, or Pueblo, or Trinidad Community College, we do have our Kane Transfer Scholarship. That's a competitive application. You do need a 3.0 GPA to be eligible for that, and you need to be able to graduate within 2 years after you transfer to UCCS. It does cover that full tuition and fees while attending UCCS. We have our Chancellor's Award, which is in the bottom corner there. That's a $10,000 scholarship for our in-state transfer students. If you have a 3.0 transfer GPA with 24 or more transferable credit hours, that breaks down to $1,250 per semester. Most of our transfer students are not going to be able to use the full $10,000 award. And then our Peak Award is $25,000 over 4 years for students who have a 3.0 transfer GPA. If you are using that WUI tuition rate, you would not be eligible for the Peak Award. You're not able to stack those two together. And lastly, we have our Reicher Transfer Award, and that's for students who are a Colorado resident and they have an estimated family contribution of less than $9,000 a year. So that would be determined by the FAFSA, what your estimated family contribution is. And that scholarship amount ranges. I did see a question come in. I'm just going to address that real quick. If I'm living in Colorado prior to transferring, but am finishing an AA with an out-of-state community college, how would that work? So the biggest thing with being an in-state resident would be that you need to be paying the in-state tuition rate. To have your residency be based on where you live, you need to be over the age of 22. So if you're over the age of 22 and you paid income taxes in Colorado, that will help you with establishing your state residency. It does take a year to establish residency. So if you just moved here, something like that, it'll be a 12-month wait period along with paying state income taxes. And they do look at things like when you changed your driver's license registration. And so there's a variety of factors as you create ties to the state. So hopefully, if that didn't answer your question, feel free to pop another question into the chat, Thomas, but hopefully that helped you out. All right, so the transfer process. So you can do the online application through our website, which is uccs.edu/apply. And you will need to submit transcripts from each college or university you previously attended. It does say official transcripts on my slide. I do want to note that you can submit unofficial transcripts to be reviewed for admission, but we won't evaluate the transfer credit for those. So you'll want to submit the official transcripts to get your transfer credit officially evaluated. And if you are admitted and choose to enroll at UCCS, you will be required to provide the official transcripts. If you graduated high school after 2010, you will need to provide an official high school transcript. And that's because there are various requirements to get a bachelor's degree that you've sometimes completed in high school. An example of that is if you graduated high school after 2010, you are required to have 2 years in high school of the same foreign language or 2 semesters in college. So if you did 2 years in high school of the same foreign language, you will want to provide that official high school transcript. You can get admitted without the high school transcript as a transfer student who has 24 or more transferable credit hours, but just want to make you aware of that. As far as submitting a letter of recommendation or a personal statement, those are optional, and that is something that you might want to consider submitting if you're on the board for admission. And I'm going to go over admission criteria in just a minute. You can send all of your admissions documents to that email address ugap@uccs.edu. Typically, the fastest and cheapest way to send us an official transcript is electronically and sending it to that email address. So admissions criteria, again, I've mentioned it, we're looking for 24 or more transferable credit hours. Transferable credits would be courses that are not remedial, technical, or vocational. And then for general admission to UCCS, we look for a cumulative college GPA of 2.4 or better. We will consider students between a 2.0 and 2.4. If you're between a 2.0 and 2.4, that's when I'd recommend submitting that personal statement with your application. And then if you are trying to get into one of our professional colleges, such as the College of Business, that they look for a cumulative college GPA of 3.0 or better, successful completion of English Composition 1 and college algebra. For our College of Engineering, we look for a cumulative transfer GPA of 3.0 or better, successful completion of pre-calculus. And then for nursing students, just to clarify, no one gets admitted directly into our College of Nursing. You are required to take at least, if you're coming in for our traditional nursing option and wanting to do clinicals at UCCS, you do need to take at least one class at UCCS and have a transfer GPA have a college GPA of 3.0 or better. In order to apply for the clinical program, you also have to take the HESI exam. So that one's a little bit more complicated. If there's any nursing students on today and you have questions, we can talk more about that. This is our transfer website, so it's just uccs.edu/transfer. So you'll see that we have transfer information on there and a variety of resources. But one that I want to point out is the transfer planning one. You can find advising guides. So if you are attending a Colorado community college, we actually have full course guides you can follow for our majors depending on what you want to study. So that's a resource for you. And I'm going to go through this kind of fast. This is what one of those advising guides does look like. It's written with the course lettering and numbering for the Colorado Community College system. These guides are designed to help a student earn a full associate degree and then be on track to only need 60 more credit hours to complete a bachelor's degree at UCCS. So I answered a couple questions, and I saw another question that just came in. Someone was saying that they're leaving the military where they're stationed in Hawaii this July. And your home of record is in Colorado. Would you be considered in-state once I move there? So Mitchell, I believe that you would, but I'm also gonna put in the chat that the email address for our tuition classification department, and I would say send them those specifics so they can verify that to make sure 100%, because I definitely would not want that to be a surprise for you. For anyone else that does have questions about their tuition classification, that email address is tuitclass, and that's TUITCLAS with one S at uccs.edu. So that's there. All right. Okay. So one other resource for those of you that are transferring from out of state, we have something called Transferology, where you can sometimes see how your classes would transfer to UCCS, what the course equivalencies would be. This particular website is built as we get students transferring from various colleges or universities. It is possible for you to log in and not see the college or university that you are transferring from. That does not mean your coursework will not transfer, we are more than happy to take a look at that if you can't find any information in Transferology. But transferology.com is a great resource where you can start if you do have questions about your transfer credit, or if you're currently attending somewhere and you want to see what other classes might transfer, you could look at that. So if you have questions about how those, so you'll see how those courses are equivalent to classes at UCCS. If you have questions about how they apply to a degree at UCCS, you can reach out to us. An easy website for you to use is transfer@uccs.edu. All right, and I just, so there's that website, or that email address, that transfer@uccs.edu. So that's a resource. I want to point out that we do have, we'll be offering a variety of virtual information sessions this fall. Right now, we don't have a lot of different sessions posted, but we will probably be getting more sessions posted in October. And we will keep that up to date at uccs.edu/virtual. That's a great place to check back, especially if you want a specific academic information session. I know that we're going to have a criminal justice information session coming up in November. It's not posted on that website yet, but it will be soon. So that's a great resource to keep coming back to. So at this time, if you have questions, I'd love for you to just drop those questions in the Q&A, and I can answer your specific questions today. But just as far as the timeline goes of applying to UCCS, you can apply a year in advance to UCCS. If you are wanting to come this upcoming spring, I would be recommending that you apply now. It takes 2 to 4 weeks to get an admissions decision from the time we get all of your application materials. And then admitted students complete an orientation, and through the orientation process, students register for classes. So our orientation registration for spring 2022 is open for admitted students. They can sign up. They're not registering for classes yet, but that will be coming a little bit later, October, November, late October, early November timeframe. Students will be able to start that. So even if you want to come in summer 22 or fall of 22, now is a great time to start the process. Admitted students will be able to start applying for scholarships December 1st, and those scholarships will be for the 22-23 academic school year. So that's why we want you to start the process, because you do have to be admitted. Another question that just came through, academic advisors only work with accepted students. So would the transfer team be the best department to connect with to decide what classes should be taken prior to transferring? Yes, the transfer team, transfer@uccs.edu, is the best way to reach out. And if you have questions about other classes you can take before transferring, we'd be able to help you out with that. In order to best assist you, please include an unofficial transcript of the classes you've already taken and let us know what your intended major is. If you're considering a couple different degree options, make sure you let us know that, and we can advise you from there. All right. So I'm just going to wait for another minute or two to see if any of you have any other questions. I do see some people are still logged in, so if any additional questions do come in, I'm more than happy to answer those. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to drop off if you did get all the information that you needed today. I just saw a question. Somebody was wondering if we have jobs in our campus recreation center. I do want to let you know that is a job opportunity. If you are able to lifeguard, or you can work at the front desk. So there are a variety of jobs in our campus recreation center. A question of whether or not there's an opportunity to schedule a call or FaceTime with someone on the transfer team, or is email best? We do make appointments. Typically with transfer credits, I really recommend emailing your unofficial transcript first, because it is really boring to wait while we look over your credits. Sometimes after we review your credits, if you still have additional questions, at that time it can be better to schedule an appointment, but it does take us a minute to kind of look through what you've already done, kind of assess how that's going to apply to the degree, and make course recommendations. So I do recommend starting with an email. On the UCCS website, there is a spot to register for appointments with our office. And the best way to get to that from the UCCS homepage is if you type, so on the UCCS homepage, under admissions and enrollment, and then under visit and connect, there's a contact us link, and then you can schedule a phone appointment from there. So I will go ahead and send that link to you, Thomas, so you can see that. But again, I do recommend giving us a head start to look at your transfer credit, and then we can actually schedule an individual appointment with you. So I'll send you that link to schedule an appointment. All right. All right, so Mitchell, I understand that you are wondering about your application status. I will look that up, and I will follow up with an email to you after this webinar and get you that information. So I can check on that, and you'll be hearing from me. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, thank you so much for taking time to join me today. And we look forward to seeing you on campus. I'd encourage you to come do a campus tour and just experience the campus and see if we'll be a fit to help you finish your bachelor's degree. All right, thanks, and have a great night.